turn yet. We'll see what happens as we add 2 extra riders into the mix, and we are underway in our final race.
Oh, Hoyer got a terrible start. He's back mid-pack. Looks like he snuck on the inside just a little bit.
So as they come uphill, you get into this rhythm section straight away going uphill, and then you come into this downhill roller section.
Wow, this is going to be crazy. Matechuk doing exactly what he needed. He has been blistering fast. He needed to get out in front. He's not dealing with any roost. He's got good visibility. Now he just needs to put in some solid laps to gap Brock Hoyer.
Now, when you say roost, we're talking about the snow that you kick up from the track when you're out in the lead. So you get that in the goggles, and that's definitely going to throw off the visibility. But being out in the lead, you don't have to contend with that out here in the second of 20 laps.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, though. These guys are going to get into lappers. The course is going to deteriorate. Right now, it's perfectly prepped. It's the fastest that it's going to be.
Well, they did do some grooming before we got into this final matchup, but with a 20-lap race, remember, the opening 2 heats, it was only a 10-lap race, so the ruts and the course deterioration is going to be a real big problem when we get into the latter laps of the race.
I think big key for Hoyer right now is to understand and know that this is 20 laps. It's a long race. Stay focused, ride your race. Looks like he's getting up onto the back of Darren Mees right here.
He's looking to pass Mees, trying to challenge for that silver medal position as of right now, but it's Cody Matechuk, your #1 time out of our seeding round. Earlier today, he got that hole shot, and he sits in the lead as we are on lap 3 out of 20. Another thing to think about, too, is when they come over the downhill jump, that final jump as they cross the start and finish line area, you got a 70-foot jump right there, and there's a lot of deep, loose snow down there. There's a great angle of it right there. So we've seen that in past heats. That starts to rut up and form a natural berm wall, and you'll see these guys get a little loose coming into that turn.
And you actually saw Hoyer right there do the exact thing that you're talking about. He came in there, caught an edge. Then what's going to happen is that snow is going to blow out, and underneath the snow is that ice like we talked about in the heat races, and that's going to cause some trouble.
All right, well, Hoyer is not letting up. He's definitely nipping on the heel of Mees right now, but Matechuk out to a very comfortable lead. Now, rewinding the clock to last year, we saw Brock. He actually ended up stalling out the bike, or dropped the bike down at one point in the race, and it was behind for a little while, and he got back up. It was about the midway point of the race to get back up and get into that lead position.
Here's that battle for second. Hoyer needs...
Trading pain as he takes it uphill there, but Mees still out in the lead, but not by much.
And Matechuk is just loving this. With these guys banging bars, it's definitely slowing down their time and giving that Matechuk a bigger gap.
Well, Brock takes it on the inside lane again, and he pulls out into that silver medal position as of right now. Now, this is just interesting, too. As they go uphill there, you've got a choice. There's 2 uphill lanes there. You've got a choice of lane selection, moving your way uphill, coming into that final 70-foot jump.
The way the field sits right now, Matechuk 1, Hoyer #2. This is how these guys raced in opposite order in the Canadian Snowbike Championship. Hoyer got the best of Matechuk. It'll be interesting to see, is this Matechuk's race?
Well, he is coming in as your defending bronze medalist from last year. This is only the 2nd time that we've contested Snow BikeCross here at X Games Aspen, but he is out in a sizable lead as of right now. Looking like he has almost a 3-second differential, or 6-second differential going on right now here as we are into lap 7 out of 20. We haven't even hit the halfway point yet, so a lot of racing still to go. And take a look here. Brock Hoyer's making up some ground, Chris.
He's coming. What we saw, that battle with Mees definitely slowed Hoyer down, but he's charging. He will catch him. This is a very long race, and Hoyer, that's what impressed me so much about last year, is his consistency lap after lap.
Well, talk about the kind of training that goes into this. I mean, you think about it. I mean, this is 20 laps. I mean, talk about the consistency that you have to have, the mental strength and awareness that you have to stay focused for a full 20 laps, especially after some adversity in the opening part of the race.
Well, one thing I've seen all throughout today is it's so awesome having the Villapotos and the Hills and Axel Hodges. It's so great to have these moto guys, but the cream has risen to the top. And with these guys spending so much time on their bikes, they're so comfortable. And with Hoyer being here in Colorado for the last 10 days, acclimating himself and getting himself ready for this event, I think that will play. And look, Kody Kamm, another one. Kody is one of the most physically fit athletes out there, being from the snowcross background.
And he is overtaking Darren Mees for that bronze medal position right now. So your top three, it's still Matechuk out in the lead, followed by Hoyer, who's trying to close that gap. And now Cody Kamm sits in that bronze medal position. We've got a sled down on the track there, so that yellow caution flag was out. That kind of slowed up Matechuk just a little bit there here in lap number 9 out of 20. See the number plate there, see who that was installed out, trying to get that bike off the track.
I believe it was Fisher who had troubles on that uphill section.
Now you can see Cody Matechuk getting into some lapper traffic here, coming down that downhill set. And again, keep your eye on that downhill left-hand turn as that snow starts to rut up. That could cause some problems for these riders in the latter half of this race.
Wow, Matechuk is, it looked like Hoyer was closing the gap a little bit, but Matechuk is just, he is flying right now.
Still trying to get that stalled out bike off the track, so that yellow caution flag still out there on that first uphill set of rhythm section. So we're in lap 10 out of 20. We're at the halfway point. Remember, this is for all the marbles. This is our medal match. Your defending gold medalist from last year, Brock Hoyer, sits in the number 2 position, but it is your bronze medalist from last year who is currently sitting in the lead with almost an 8-second differential between the two. And we talked about this earlier. The visibility has definitely been an issue. For more on that, let's check in with Diana Dahlgren out in the field.
Hey guys, visibility is huge here. You'll see a lot of the dirt-based experienced riders. They are struggling right now. They're not used to this gray. And as you can tell, the top 3 running grew up in snow, and they're definitely dominating here tonight.
Thank you, Diana. We talked about that earlier. The conditions were changing for those first 2 opening heats, and now it looks really flat out there. It's really hard. How bad does that affect the depth perception when you're looking at some of these features on the course?
Yeah, the flat light in combination with the roost, it really causes some problems because it's so hard to see the imperfections in the course. And as we continue here, you can see, look at these berms. I mean, these guys are just, it's pushing all of that snow into the back, almost making it a little one line.
All right, so Brock Hoyer getting into some lapper traffic right now, but again, with 12 laps down, 8 to go here, it's still...
Matechuk is down, the leader is down right there.
Well, here we go. We're looking back to 2017. We saw that happen last year with Brock Hoyer, but it was brief. He got right back up for it. He didn't stall out the bike, which was good. He was just down for a second, gets right back up, but it's still Matechuk, Hoyer, and Kamm.
Let's take a look here. Just, wow.
That's an example of what we're talking about. That loose stuff right there. He almost got run over right there, too. Whoever was coming up on the backside there, good on him, taking the outside line. The key was he didn't stall out the bike. He kept it going. But that, I mean, we saw that almost that exact same thing last year out of Brock Hoyer.
Well, Cody did a great job of keeping his composure, keeping the bike from stalling. And he had a big enough lead where I don't even know if Hoyer actually saw that to actually give him a little bit more motivation.
He's closed the gap, though. Earlier, it was, but 2 laps ago, it was almost an 8-second lead. Now it's down to a little over 5 seconds. So that definitely helped out the Brock Hoyer cause. But Cody Kamm still sitting in that bronze medal position. And then it's Darren Mees, who was in bronze for a while, now sits on the outside looking in with a handful of laps left to go. We are 14 out of 20 here in the Snow BikeCross final. These riders in the hunt for an X Games medal out here this afternoon. But now that separation's starting to grow again as you look at that scoring timing monitor there. Now we're back up to 6 seconds differential.
Well, these two guys are the class of the field. It's so impressive to watch. I mean, the talent pool this year, Brock Hoyer had a target on his back, and Matechuk, he just went up there and took it.
What a race we've got going on right now. It's still holding steady at just over 6 seconds as of right now. Cody Kamm, by the way, sitting in that bronze medal position, your 2017 ISOC Snowcross Pro Open champ. But right now, the big story is Mr. Matechuk. Your #1 qualifying time from seeding today, by the way. The fastest guy on the track, and he is out in the lead with 4 laps to go here, Chris.
It was crazy. The very first lap that I saw him out in practice, I was like, that boy has a medal in mind. I mean, he's just flying, just on another level.
Taking a look at it back here from the seeding scores, it was 34.773 seconds. That was I mean, this is a bigger course than what we had last year. In just a little over half a minute, ripping through, that was his best lap time. And he's on his way to a gold medal, barring any slip-ups here. So right now, what goes into your mind concentration-wise? You start thinking about things like, okay, the track is deteriorating. You've got lapper traffic ahead of you that could possibly cause a slip-up. What goes through your mind at this point?
Well, I think this section right here, you can see Hoyer struggling, basically rolling over each section. Seat bouncing right there at the end. Matechuk is still just doing his lines. He's not being conservative. He is racing at the pace that he is comfortable with and that he's really fast with. And, you know, right here, you've got other racers in the way. You've got the course deteriorating. I mean, you've got to stay focused and keep racing the race.
Well, that's where it starts to get dicey there. You start coming down into some of these turns and coming off the jumps, and you get some other riders that are in your way. Maybe they may not even know that you're coming up behind them there. So we'll have to see if he can hang on for the final 2 laps. And the gap, it's over 9 seconds as Cody Matechuk is pulling away from Brock Hoyer and furthering his case to try to earn that gold medal here today, Chris.
Wow, this is just an impressive run. I mean, whoa, almost some trouble right there on the last lap.
And the white flag is out. Can he hang on for this final lap and take home an X Games gold medal? He just has to hang on for 1 more lap coming into this first uphill rhythm section.
I love his style. He is so smooth. He looks so natural. You wouldn't even know that this was a snow bike versus a dirt bike. He's got that, he's got this fluid design or style on lock.
Yeah, he's been on form, on point this entire race. And again, you have to also think about the fatigue factor. Remember, this is double the laps that we had in our opening races. And there you go, across the finish line, and it's Cody Matechuk, your #1 time from seeding, and takes home a gold medal. Your